Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for today. So let's talk about Rivian. Could this company 10x in the next 10 years? I bet you would like to know the answer, right? Well, let's go through a couple of things throughout this video where I have also some new price targets, some comments from some analysts, and we're going to have a comparison between Rivian, Ford, and Tesla because I do think that covers most of the spectrum and there are some interesting things to note. So if you're interested in that, sit back and relax, hit that thumbs up button if you like it, subscribe if you haven't. Now, let's jump right into this. So this is Rivian Today, $30 billion market cap. So let's say 10x that, that's $300 billion market cap. When will that happen? I don't know. But again, the title doesn't say 10x in the next 10 years. It says, can it 10x? For it to 10x would mean $300 billion market cap. Could also mean 10x their current production, which is right now at a goal of 25,000 for this year, which means 250,000, which is less than what Tesla is producing quarterly right now. So it's not, let's say, out of this world to say that yes, Rivian will 10x their production by the end of this decade, maybe even quicker, who knows. But this is the current state of the company. Obviously, free cash flow negative, return on equity not so good, drawdown, we don't care about that for now. Gross profit margin, we know they're burning money like there's no tomorrow, but it's becoming a little bit better. Because if you look at CapEx as a percentage of revenue, it is coming down. Again, it's still extremely high, but it is coming down and that's good to see. Now, if we go valuation, look at the valuation metrics, obviously EV to sales still quite high last 12 months. Next 12 months, much better, 6x. If we look at price to sales ratio, 9.5x. Again, it's not that cheap, but for a company that is expected to grow quite a lot in the next coming years, I think the bet might be worth it. Now, if we compare it to the likes of Ford, for example, Ford has a $46.1 billion market cap, and valuation-wise, I was actually extremely surprised to see at how cheap it is today. Now, there might be some very good reasons that it is that cheap. I mean, price to sales ratio, next 12 months, 0.3x. Price to earnings, 6.5x for the next 12 months. EV to sales, 1. I mean, it is pretty cheap and it's not like Ford isn't growing anymore. You can see total revenues have been growing quarter over quarter, year over year. EBITDA as well. Now, of course, there are still some question marks with regards to their full switch from ICE to EV. How is that going to play out in the next coming years? Because eventually they'll have to maybe stop or reduce the ICE production by a lot and increase the EV production by a lot as well. Maybe that's going to be the tipping point that might, let's say, destroy the financials for the short term. But overall, Ford, very cheap in my opinion at the moment. I was actually very surprised. I would also like to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to full.com/couchinvestor and make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment. Let's continue. And lastly, we obviously have Tesla. Now, Tesla is obviously the one of this one kind of company right now, valuation wise. Yes, obviously everybody will say, oh, price to earnings, extremely high, etc. Yes, it is high. But for a company that is growing so fast in such a huge market, and really there's no signs of it slowing down, I'm very happy to pay the price right now because I do feel that this company is going to be much bigger in the future, even if it's currently at $840 billion in market cap. I mean, looking at the financials, let's just look at revenue. It has been increasing quite nicely over the years. Gross profit as well, cash from operations, EBITDA, EBITDA margin, net income margin have all been improving year over year. So now that we have compared all three, Rivian, Ford, and Tesla, it's not crazy to think that Rivian could 10x every metric that we've just seen there. It's not going to be like Tesla, for example. Might be, who knows? But currently, let's stay conservative. It's not going to be like Tesla. It might maybe be a bit more like Ford, which, by the way, has I don't know, how much was it? $46 billion in market cap. So not that much. So for even to 10x, it does have to be a bit better than Ford currently. Maybe it will have higher margins and that's why the market will give it a higher multiple, but Rivian, it's not crazy to think that they could 10x from today. Obviously, it would be much easier for, let's say, if you look at the price, market cap, the price, for that to 10x, if it were a bit cheaper towards the $20 billion market cap, would make sense. $200 billion company, I think it could happen. I don't know when, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 15 years, who knows? But in the meantime, let's have a look at what analysts think might happen in the next 6 to 12 months. So first up, we have Truist analyst Jordan Levy initiated coverage of Rivian Automotive with a buy rating and $65 price target. So quite a nice upside there. The company has only started delivering its vehicles, but investors will soon see Rivian not just as an EV manufacturer, but as a next-generation diversified mobility tech powerhouse. The company's experienced management should not be overlooked, as CEO RJ has assembled a team whose expertise spans a broad range of business segments, further stating that in its partnership with Amazon, Rivian not only has a strategic advantage over EV competitors, but also a better position to compete with incumbents OEMs in the commercial market. We've also talked about the Mercedes partnership in the last video, so I 100% agree with him there. Then we have another analyst note, this one from RBC Capital analyst Joseph Spack. He lowered the firm's price target to $62 from $75 and keeps an outperform rating on the shares. The analyst says that while near-term encouraging activity gives him more confidence in the company's Q4 ramp, he's lowering 2023 estimates on some changeover factors. Despite positive near-term developments, he lowered his 2023 production forecast for Rivian to 63,500 from 82,500. So again, if we're talking about a 10x here, production, no problem. The company will switch to introduce lithium iron phosphate packs and its new in-house enduro motor, which will likely cause some downtime and a new ramp will be required. He now forecasts 159,000 deliveries through 2025, down from 182,700 prior and below the consensus estimate of 213,000. And one last thing I want to add here is from Genemonster, great follow on Twitter. Very interesting to hear every thought he has on Tesla, on Rivian, on Apple as well. So he says here that he had his first ride in Rivian over the weekend, Launch Edition R1S. 3 takeaways. 1, Rivian is going to survive and thrive. 2, compared to the Model Y, it feels a lot bigger. It should be. 3, traditional auto needs to reinvent like Tesla and Rivian, not swap a gas powertrain for electric. But he then also says that it still needs to solve the price problem. It's too expensive for a mass market. They need a $50,000 version. And I cannot agree more on that front. Now, of course, I've read the rumors that Rivian is maybe working towards a new platform, one that will have obviously the cheaper price tag. But in my opinion, that's a bad idea for right now because they do have too much on their plate. And if you do a bit too much of everything, that's just a recipe for disaster. And they don't need another platform right now. They're burning enough cash as it is. But overall, can Rivian 10x? The answer to me is pretty clear. Yes, I've said this from the start. Even when the price was super high, I believed Rivian will be a success. Was it a buy? No, I said it's the easier short of the decade, maybe even the century. So there is that. But overall, from what I've seen, from what I've heard people talk about the vehicle, everybody loves it. It looks extremely nice. The team is great. So they do have everything to be a good and great success. Now, the only thing we have to say here is time will tell. But I would like to know if you hold Rivian in your portfolio. Let me know down in the comments below. Maybe you even driven one. So let me know that as well in the comments. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.